When you think of the first Thanksgiving in America, odds are good that this painting or something similar to it comes to mind. But is this image a good representation of the infamous Plymouth Feast? Does the painting itself provide reliable historical evidence of the past for students and historians? One way to know for sure is by sourcing the document. Each time historians encounter a document, whether it is a primary or secondary source, they apply specific historical thinking skills to analyze and interpret the information. Sourcing is usually the first step in that process. With this skill, the historian asks who created the document, when, and for what purposes to determine its reliability. Let's try it with our Thanksgiving painting. I found this image on the Library of Congress website. According to the contextual information, it was painted by an artist named J.L.G. Ferris in 1932. Every time you encounter a document, it's best to determine if the document is a primary or secondary source by looking at the date. We know that the first Thanksgiving happened in 1621. That's 311 years before Ferris's painting. So the image is a secondary source. Usually the date discrepancy would mean that the image is not a reliable source for historical research. Just for the sake of being thorough, let's see if we can find out more information about the artist or how the image was created. There's one last thing I can do to source this painting. I'm going to research the artist himself to see if I can find out more about his career or painting methods. At first glance, there doesn't seem to be much information available for Ferris online. I've looked at 3 websites that appear reliable, but the information is limited. I usually do not like to use Wikipedia, but in this instance, I don't really have a choice. If Wikipedia entries are supported by credible sources, the information can be useful. Let's take a look. These 2 paragraphs provide some vital information. Ferris was known as a historical painter, but the details he used were often historically inaccurate. This, paired with differences in date, tell us that Ferris's depiction of the first Thanksgiving is not a valid resource for historical research on the event. Using this video as a guide, you should source every single document you encounter in this course. Depending upon your objective, you usually only need to consider the date, author, context of the creation, and purpose in writing or creating to gain a deeper understanding of your source.